We finally got the main bulk of the Dark Regular support cards, and there's a major change happening in Vanguard 0.
Stand up! Vanguard!
Hey Cardfighters, welcome back to another Cardfight update, and today we've got a lot of interesting things to talk about, as we've got Scharhrot for Dark Regulars revealed, as well as Guild Array, and we got some interesting information concerning Vanguard 0, as in the app itself they revealed all the new things that were gonna happen in the next coming season that will happen starting tomorrow. So with that said, let's first dive into the new cards revealed for us for VBT08, Butterfly Under the Moonlight for Dark Regulars, and then we dive in all the Vanguard 0 related content for anybody that's interested in what's happening on the mobile side of Vanguard. So for Dark Regulars, we got 3 new cards revealed to us that basically tell us what the new playstyle or the main focus for Dark Regulars is going to be in the new wave for Vanguard. And it's a interesting approach, as you're gonna see in a second here with these new cards, because it doesn't really feel like Dark Regulars at this point anymore, while it still revolves around the soul. And to get a better understanding of what I'm referring to, let's look at the new cards, and we're gonna start off with a new grade 1 double R, which is Etched in the Darkness. And this is gonna be the main support card and resource engine for the deck, as it's actually a pretty solid card. As its first ability is Unknown Vanguard Circle. When placed, draw a card and put a card from your hand into the soul. So this is your typical going first or going second, write the grade 1 on the Vanguard Circle. And interesting enough, it doesn't give you any actual advantage because you draw and put a card in your soul, so it's basically a cycle, but at the very least it allows you to selectively soul charge a specific card. It's a bit different than Yellow Bolt. I'm not sure if that particular skill makes it better than Yellow Bolt, or Yellow Bolt might be a better pick, but its second ability definitely makes up for that issue, as its second ability is Unknown Vanguard Circle. When placed, soul charge 1. If it was placed by a card's ability, counter charge 1. So unplaced is a soul charge 1, which is fine, but then its second effect of this ability is quite strange, as it asks it to be placed by a card effect. We're not playing Royal Paladin, neither are we playing Pale Moon, and this might spark a question of how you're supposed to achieve this effect. Well, that's immediately answered when we take a look at the second card, as the second card revealed today was this grade 3 triple R Abominable 1 Guild Array. And Guild Array's abilities are Unknown Vanguard Circle. When placed, cost counter +1 and call a grade 2 or less card from your soul to the rearguard circle. So this is basically the ability that is supposed to call Etched in the Darkness to the field so you can proc its skill. And what's interesting enough is basically this card on play, so if you have this card in your hand, it is basically 2 cards for free, as it costs a counter blast, but if we can call out Etched in the Darkness, we get that counter blast back, and we also get a soul in return. So by placing this particular card from our hand onto the field, we get a grade 1 booster onto the board, as well as 1 extra card in our soul, which is pretty nice. But it also allows us to just call out any other grade 2 or lower card, so if you want to have another attacker in the side column or a specific booster somewhere in the field, this allows us to do that. And it's quite strange that we have this type of skill for Dark Regulars, as this particular skill feels way more like Pale Moon than it actually does that it feel like Dark Regulars. So I'm not sure what type of direction they want to go with Dark Regulars as soon as they give this skill to them. But it also has a second ability, which is Unknown Vanguard Circle. When it attacks a Vanguard, if your soul has 10 or more cards, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. So it's basically a unattack free retire, which is nice. It's not amazing, but it's okay. It's strange that this card is a triple R rarity card, because it doesn't feel like that. It's a free retire, which is fine, and it can potentially call something to the board, but it doesn't really scream like, oh, this is a insane staple or a really good card that needs to be run in a new engine. It seems like an okay card. And with Guild Array covered, we basically can go into the new VR, the boss unit for Dark Regulars, and that is gonna be the new Scharhrot, as we have Scharhrot Vampir. And its abilities are quite interesting, if I'm gonna be very honest. This is not something that I expected of the card, but frankly, I actually really like it, because its abilities are Unknown Vanguard Circle, At the beginning of your battle phase, all of your front row units get power plus 1k until the end of turn for each card in your soul. So for anybody that was still asking for Amon to return in Standard, well, here's your Amon on steroids. As not only does it give itself the plus 1k for every soul, it gives the entire front row. So that's 3 units. This is actually pretty good no matter where you are in the game. If you are riding it on the first turn, you probably have 1 or 2 extra souls, so that's plus 5k onto the front row. So you're gonna hit hard. And then in the later turns, or you just excel a bunch of soul, you probably give plus 10k, maybe even more on all your units. So that can be really, really scary. But that's not enough, as it also has a second ability, which is Auto Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, costs countable as 1 and stand one of your front row rearguards. If your soul has 13 or more cards, stand 2 rearguards instead. So anybody has been saying, well, this is Mordred Phantom 2.0. And you can say that to some degree, but honestly, just calling it a Mordred Phantom version 2 just doesn't justify the power level of this card. Because Mordred Phantom, for 1, was restricted to a specific grade 2 to restand, and for 2, looked at your opponent's grade and needed it to be grade 3 to actually restand those units. Scharhrot Vampir is not restricted by any of those type of annoying restrictions. It can restand whatever it wants, so it can restand a very powerful unit with an on-attack skill, Guild Array for example, so you can have multiple pinpoints retire, but you have also other cards like Number of Terror, which allows you to draw an insane amount of cards if you can keep reusing the same Number of Terror. We also have some other grade 2s and grade 1s that can have some annoying on-attack skills, or maybe some on-hit effects that you can now forcefully force off. But not only that, you can do this while your opponent is still at grade 2. So if you went first and you're right into Scharhrot Vampir and you have 13 souls, you can acquire that. And it isn't really impossible to achieve for Dark Regulars. We already seen builds that could achieve an NOK on the first grade 3 turn. That's also 13 soul. This is the same requirement. They can do it. And if you can achieve that, then don't forget, your front row got an increase of 13k. So those rearguards that are gonna restand also have plus 13k on their base power, which makes them probably hit like trucks. And not 1 truck, but probably something like 5 trucks. So with Scharhrot revealed, I can understand why they just banned hard lag. Because hard lag with Scharhrot Vampir just ask for some abusement, as that's just not a good interaction. And keep in mind, you can combine Scharhrot Vampir with NOK. The only difference is that if you use NOK to rewrite into a Scharhrot Vampir, you're not gonna get his at the beginning of battle phase power increase because you were already mid your battle phase. So keep that in mind if you go from a NOK into a Scharhrot Vampir. But for the premium side, this is like one of the best cards they could get. If you combine this with the Gastille strike unit, your front row is packed with power. But not only that, you can restand them and probably restand them even more with other cards, or have some multiple restand on your Vanguards or other crazy things. This is a really good VR. But interesting enough, it doesn't feel like Dark Regulars at all. The Vanguard skill that it gives the power does, because it's basically an Amon on steroids, but the restand on the rearguards is quite interesting. It doesn't really feel all the Dark Regulars like. We had the Vanguard restand and potential full field restand with element 5th element, but Master 5th element cost you your entire resource, so it was a do or die scenario effect, and this basically isn't. It's, you can do it now, you can do it next turn, you can do it the following turn, you can do it next week, and you can basically do it until the end of day. So yeah, really interesting approach that they're going for with Dark Regulars. I'm really interested in what the rest of the support is going to look like, as we still got a bunch of cards for Dark Regulars left to be revealed, even in high rarity slots. So either this is it for the Scharhrot Vampir main playstyle, or we're going to see some interesting things that can maybe capitalize on the restand nature of Scharhrot Vampir, like we see with Guild Array, that has a really solid on-attack skill that can be then used again and again and again, because don't forget, that on-attack retire was free. So Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, with those standard reveals out of the way, let's take a look at what's going to happen in Vanguard 0 for the next coming season, as there is a lot of interesting things around the corner that are going to happen very, very soon. And with very soon, I basically mean tomorrow, because starting tomorrow, we are in the new season, which also introduced the Asia Circuit in Vanguard 0. And for anybody that isn't familiar with the Asia Circuit, this is basically the limit break era for Vanguard. And with that, we're gonna see a lot of changes to Vanguard 0. One of those main changes is the new VP and the rank system, which I discussed in a previous video. Links on top if you haven't seen it yet. And what it basically means is that we're gonna have a different way of acquiring VP in rank fight, and rank fight is gonna get a little revamp to make it a little bit easier to climb up the first couple of legend ranks, as well as the VP rewards are a bit reworked. But for the international side of things, we actually got an increase of rewards on the VP system itself, so that's actually a pretty good change for us. But besides that, we're also going to have some new gacha banners, because of course with the Asia Circuit that means Gold Paladin and Narukami. But those aren't the only two clans we're going to get, as we're also going to get Great Nature and Angel Feathers in the new coming support. And what they decided to do is finally split the banners for Vanguard 0. And what I mean with split the banners is that we actually are going to have banners where you can only pull that specific clan out of those banners. With all the previous different banners, there was always a chance that you could pull random cards from older previous sets or from clans you don't want. Now, that's no longer the case. As starting tomorrow, we're going to have 3 different banners. We're going to have the Q4 banner, the Rivals banner, and the Asia Circuit banner. And those clans are going to be divided in what you're already probably going to expect. The Q4 banner is going to contain the Q4 clans, so Kagero, Royal Paladin, Oracle Fintech, and Nova Grappler. So if you want any of those clans, or you're missing specific cards of those clans, you want to pull gacha tickets from that banner. Then we have the Rivals banners. This is basically all the opponents for Q4. So think of Shadow Paladin, Dimension Police, Dark Regulars, Pale Moon, even Bermuda Triangles within that banner. So any of those clans, if you miss a card from them, you want to pull off that specific banner. And then a new banner, of course, is the Asia Circuit banner, and that contains the new clan. So if you don't want any of the old clans, you can just pull off the new Asia Circuit banner, and you're only gonna get new cards from the new set, which will contain Gold Paladin, Narukami, Angel Feathers, and Great Nature. So that's a really nice change for the gacha system, as that gives a lot more consistency on the cards that you actually pull. But with the Asia Circuit, we also are going to get the new chapters for the storyline, as we're going to get the next 5 chapters, which will introduce us in the beginning story arc of the Asia Circuit, so which is pretty nice. But not only that, they changed a little bit about story mode itself, because starting tomorrow, story mode chapters or story mode fights themselves won't cost you energy anymore. So that's basically free to play them whenever you want, and you can try to achieve the rewards and just the completion of the story modes themselves. And this will also be done at the higher difficulty if you want to go through the story mode on the higher difficulty itself. With it now being free of energy cost itself, it also means we will no longer get VP points of doing story mode chapters, as VP points basically was equivalent to the amount of energy you spent, and as soon as it doesn't cost you any energy anymore, that means we can also no longer acquire VP points of doing the story mode itself. But you still want to do the story mode because, of course, all the rewards you're going to get by completing the different achievements and missions. But not only that, if you complete all the story arcs, you can rank up for another 10 ranks, because our maximum grade will increase from 40 all the way up to 50, which also means that our maximum energy capacity will increase from 110 to 120. So that's probably a good enough incentive to complete the story mode for the Asia Circuit itself. Now, with the new season and also new gacha, we also need a new rank system reward. And this time they decided to give us the upcoming with the Blazing Warrior ranked season. And an interesting thing to note here, because we're now getting Ezel, it's very likely that we're going to skip over Alice and Star Called Trumpeter, as those two rank rewards were between what we previously got with Velvet Voice Reindeer and what we're now going to get with Blonde Incandescent Lion as well. And this was to be expected, that we will skip over 2 rank rewards, as we also skipped over a set, as set 2 and set 3 were combined together in one season for us on the international side. So it's It's kind of sad that they skipped over Alice, but missing out Scharhrot Vampir is not the worst offender here because that was a double R, so it's not really that much of a value we're gonna lose. At least now our rank rewards are more in line with what's actually competitively viable or what's actually being played right now, because if we would get Ezel 2 seasons later, it might have been a little bit too late, especially with some other rewards that will come after Ezel in the upcoming seasons themselves. And a new set and a new banner means also new fighter skins, and this time we're gonna get the new Suiko's skin with, of course, the sleeves and the banner itself. But another nice addition is that they will also give away a new Miwa and a new Corrin skin that will be playable for Angel Feathers for the Corrin side, and Miwa will be playable for Narukami for any other player that already purchased their skins with the previous skin sets. So if you already purchased Miwa, you're gonna get this Miwa for free, and if you already purchased Corrin, you're gonna get Corrin for free. There's nothing confirmed that you can actually buy these skins if you haven't bought the previous one, so I'm not 100% sure if you can buy all free skins this coming season, but at least know if you already bought the Miwa and the Corrin one, you're gonna get another one for free, which is actually pretty nice. And that basically concludes all the information that we've got for Vanguard Zero as well as the physical card game. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the new cards for Dark Regular, for Scharhrot Vampir and Gilles de Rais, and also are you excited for Limit Break entering Vanguard Zero with the Asia Circuit season? I'm honestly very excited to finally be able to play Narukami and Gold Paladin, as Narukami is one of my favorite clans, and I was always interested in Gold Paladin with Ezel back in the OG time when it was first introduced, as I never played in the OG era of Vanguard, so I can now finally experience those cards in their full capacity, albeit in a different playstyle, but it's still interesting enough to actually finally experience them. So let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And as always, guys, this video has been brought to you by lovely patrons over at patreon.com/VanguardInsider. You guys are amazing. If you do want to support the channel or everything that's happening on the channel, you can simply do that by going over to patreon.com/VanguardInsider and become a Patreon today. But with that said, I'm Mr. Time Leap, and I see you guys in the next one.